Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you all, both in the church and the virtual congregation. I'm very pleased to be able to announce our medium this morning is Mr. Iain Mason. Welcome, Ian. It's great to see you. You'll see him in a minute. He's sitting there, I promise you. He's not virtual somewhere. He is here. And we're all fairly back to normal. We've got a nice congregation in the church this morning. I think we've got about 18, 20 people, if my mathematics is right, but never trust my mathematics. So it's great to see so many people here this morning. Jackie's going to be doing the reading this morning, and I'll be doing the absent healing prayers and a couple of other things throughout the morning. It's very important that we all enjoy ourselves. Richard says to us every morning just before we go on, enjoy yourselves. Remember, enjoy yourselves. So we're going to do that today. And the great thing is, I'm really nicely fired up. I've just received a letter from California, Oakland, and it's telling me about the evils of spiritualism. I ought to mend my ways. So that's really got me going. So in a positive way, you wait to see. They sent me one page back. You wait to see how many pages they get back. God help them. Yes. 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 Carreras County, which is in California, they have a bikers weekend, and you get 5,000 or 6,000 bikers there. And the best part was, I saw this lady who was disabled, but she had a disabled adapted Harley, and it was bright pink. And her leathers were bright pink, and she looked gorgeous. She really did. And all these big Hells Angels came back, respect, love. Well, in an American accent, but respect. I don't do American accents very well. So, friends, I'll ask Ian to open our meeting with prayer.
Thank you very much.
That's the camera, Jack.
Yeah. So good morning, everyone, here, there, and wherever you are, wherever in the universe or whatever. So welcome. So what I'd like to do is just to invite you to close your eyes for me. Just take a breath in and out, and just let your soul settle. Feel that love and light build up within you. As we give our love, our deep appreciation, thanks, gratitude, happiness and joy to this great, infinite, creative force that surrounds us and abides and resides within us, that always walks with us on our way, always guiding us to where we need to be, showing us our way, the place we know we feel we need to be, that thing that pulls us that we just can't explain. And we give this gratitude and this deep appreciation to this divine source, infinite creator, to everything seen and unseen, known and unknown, to the circumstances and whatever else made this possible for us to be here right now. And in that we relish with that joy as we walk on our pathway, knowing that whatever it is that guides us never leaves us. It's only us that ever leaves ourselves through the choices, behaviours and actions we make and take in each moment that takes us off of our path because we feel it and our emotions let us know that. But here's the thing that we understand: you are always waiting for us. And when we let those go, when we open our hearts, we feel you rejoin with us as we continue on our way. So we ask you to guide our vibrational energy to align and become at one with the people, places, situations and opportunities that are here for us now in this moment, that are showing us our way. Open doors and opportunities are here for us that we know we must follow in our hearts, where we know we just need to have the courage and trust to walk by faith and not by sight. And so in your tender loving care, we leave ourselves for this service as we ask you to guide us back together later on for the messages to reach those that are destined to receive them. And until we are there, we leave ourselves in your tender loving care and say thank you. Amen.
Amen. Well, friends, we now come to that part of service where I'd ask you all to join in with saying, God grant me the serenity. Should come up on screen if we're lucky. If not, I'll have it all printed out for here in church next week and back on screen. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So hopefully that will help you all get empowered and be strong and be positive, because lots of things are happening in this world of ours which we can't change at the moment, but we have to accept the change. Our grandson Noah was told last week that his mum, that the school teacher and a child had coronavirus, and Noah, problem having two grandkids, Noah had to go home and isolate for 14 days, and he's now just coming out of his 14 days. but it was his birthday last week, and he found it very difficult. He couldn't go out and play on his new scooter. But when I saw him, he said, "Grandad, people at school not well, but I'm all right. It's not the virus, though." So kids are quite strong with all these things, and Ethan's very positive about hands, face, and space. He tells me, he tells everybody, except for his girlfriend at school, Bex, who he says you can come. Lexi, not Bexley, Lexley, and he says you can come as close as you like. And he told me a few weeks ago that he's going to marry her in a few years' time, and I can't be the priest, but Nanny Jackie can. And I have a very important job to do at the wedding. I'm going to be the DJ. So I don't know how they're like 50s and 60s music. Oh, no. So let's carry on enjoying ourselves this morning. Can I also ask you now to go back into the prayer mode to pray for healing of mind, body and spirit, for all our loved ones, family and friends. I've got a list here. It's come off our church list, which came last night. To me, a very good friend of the church, Barbara. She's not well. She was coming to church this morning, but she's had a very difficult, dizzy spell. And Bernie, who's a great friend, she's like a sister to Jackie and I. Bernie's dog passed to the spirit this week, and she's quite distraught, to be honest. And those of you who've had pets, you know how close a pet can be. My Jackie's not been the best of health this week. We've also praying for, on our website, a guy called Luke, Linda, Megs, and I'd like to mention Mark. It's not our Mark Lewis here, or my brother Mark. It's a Mark that's a very good friend of Margaret Bartley, who's a part of the Hat Bridge in Wimbledon Church. And Mark had to have a very urgent operation, and it was less than 50-50 he'd survive. He survived. And that's great, but he's got to have another 2 operations, but they're going to do it over a space of time. So another successful healing movement, I believe, and Margaret herself, who's not well. So we think 3 moments, and Jim, who's come out of hospital. Jim had a procedure yesterday, he had a new pacemaker fitted. He's now like the bionic man. He went round and swept Mitcham and cleaned up Mitcham last night. So we send our healing thoughts to Jim as well. And it's good that he's going to be back soon on the page doing all his poems and music. Phil did his music yesterday, DJ Phil. If I can't do my Ethan's wedding, you can stand in for me. And we've got to remember all those people in this world that have got COVID throughout the world. It is, it's a terrible thing we're going through, but this vaccine is here for those who wish to take it. I know there's a number of people in Wimbledon Church that won't take it and don't want to take it, but that's their life, and I wouldn't force anyone. So thank you very much. We'll have a few moments of healing prayer. Heavenly Father, we ask for healing of mind, body and spirit to those names we have prayed for. Also to those names deeply inscribed in our hearts and our minds, who need the love and comfort of the angels. May they be healed according to divine law. So mote it be. Amen. We'll now say hello to a few names on screen before Jackie comes up and does the reading. So, morning Renzo and Pavel. Leslie Knight, good morning. You've had a baby since I last saw you. Cheryl Boxall, lovely to see you again, Cheryl. Hope you're well. Michelle, hello. Hope you're right. You're a bit upside down there, love. So, another Michelle, good morning. Welcome. Sue, good morning. Sue Raw. James Blythe, good morning, Jim. I hope you're well. Looking after yourself. Jim, you've got to rest. Christine, hello, Christine. How are you? Olwyn Williams, our church organist. Hello, Olwyn. Hope you're feeling well. Foley, Aquariums. Hello, how are you? Bob, hello. Good morning. Welcome. Claire, hello, Claire. How are you? I'm not sure whereabouts in the world you are, but it's lovely to hear from you. Julie, good morning. I hope you're well. Sally Worker. Hello, Sally. It's nice to hear from you again. I think it's the last one. Oh, Sam Pitt. Good morning, Sam. Welcome to our service this morning. So I think we'll leave that for now. I'll ask Jackie to do the reading, and it's from a book called The Medium's Manual for Spiritualism in America, called In True Religion.
And good morning to everyone. It's so lovely to be here in the church again. We are going to try and keep the church open for as long as we can over the different Christmas period, and hopefully we'll be here on our services for the next Wednesday and the following Sunday, and then the Sunday the 27th. So if we can't see you physically in the church, then please make sure that you join us on YouTube, and for the Wednesday, try us on the Zoom. And if you have problems, then, phone me up on the Monday or the Tuesday, and I'll try and assist you for getting onto the Zoom, because we have to be prepared. Now, this is a book that's one of my favourites, actually, the Spiritualist Manual, and say for ministers and mediums, but they have some wonderful readings in here. True religion. True religion leads us to live better and truer lives. It makes us observe a stricter honesty in all our dealings with mankind. It causes us to search our own hearts and make them clean and pure, free from all taints of selfishness, free from everything that can debase. It implants within us principles and motives which help us to withstand all the evil temptations which beset the pathway of life. Gautama Buddha said, "One's own self is indeed difficult to subdue. A voice from the spirit has told us that virtue is the exercise of sufficient willpower to avoid that which is hurtful. Progress in personal morality is possible for every human being, and to aid in this progress is the aim of all true religion. There is a commandment which echoes through every human breast, saying, 'Be thou perfect, conform thy life to higher standards. Man is his own saviour, and the soul that can render an honest and aspiring life commands all light, all influence, all fate.' Let us labour until there shall be a grand unison of effort towards a common goal, whose achievement shall uplift the race, whose coming shall send gladness to the hearts of those who are weary and heavy laden. Work is an element in developing our spirits. When done with fidelity and purity of purpose, therefore, work enters into the results of all true religion. Yea, work is a joy, both for the doer and the person for whom it is done, when it is consecrated by brotherly love. Such work bears an invisible flower and fruit, the flower and fruit of character, of real accomplishment, of true religion. True religion encourages men to mutual helpfulness, to generosity, and to kindness in words and deed. Under its influence, we are led to stretch a helpful hand to those who are bruised or broken, to make sorrow more endurable and temptations easier to conquer, to make the losses lighter, and to lift the sense of shame from the sinful soul. There may we exclaim with this poet, "Through love to light, oh wonderful the day that leads from darkness to perfect day, from darkness and from dolour of the night, to morning that comes singing over the sea, through the love to light, through light, O God, to thee, who art the love of love, the eternal light of light." And it's at this time of year when we know that light will be coming back to us at the end of December, even 5 minutes, earlier sunrise and 5 minutes extra before we have sunset. But it's that whole expression of Christmas and the light coming back to us, the light coming back in our hearts, and hopefully to lighten our moods. But as I say, I will pass the address on to Iain and not get too deep into the reading, but it's a wonderful reading, and think on those words. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Iain Mason for the address.
Hey everyone, I'm back again. Thank you, Jackie, for that. That was great. I enjoyed that. So here we are, and I'd like to share a few words with you all. And just as I work with the camera here, I'm going to be looking up and down because obviously we have a live audience. You are here, aren't you all? You lot? Yeah? Yeah, I'm not imagining you. So bear with me. So one of the things I do is I call myself a way guide, and I would just like to share some insight and some words that have come to me, been shared with me, and experiences that I've had to help you on your way. Way has a capital W, where you need to go, your purpose, and things like this. And, you know, what I've found really interesting is one of the lessons that I've learned is it's important to have goals, okay? Not in the sense of, you know, mad, crazy focuses at all costs, but it's really important to have goals. And the reason it's important to have your own goals is because if you don't have your own, you'll become part of somebody else's goals. That's really important. If you don't have your own goals, you'll be part of somebody else's goals because you've got no direction. You don't know where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going and you let others influence you, what will happen is you'll end up getting led by them. Have you ever heard that saying, birds of a feather flock together? There's another way to look at it, and that is if you hang around with 9 drunk people, you're probably likely to be the 10th drunk. I didn't hear that, Ray. But this is the thing. This is why it's so important. And it's not to know who you are. It's almost the reverse. It's to allow yourself to find yourself and allow yourself to be guided. And if you have that openness and that willingness just to follow where you're being pulled, you'll be amazed at what you can see. So let me share a little story with you with this guy that I'm going to call David. Now, David, I met in a professional capacity. I was a fund monitor for a lender that was had lent the money for a construction firm to build this project a few years back. And I met him when we were chatting. And once we got over our work duties and bits and bobs, you know, we were chewing the fat, as they say. And he told me this incredible story. This is a guy that was born in Africa. And he said in his little village where he was born, people, when they got older, used to get around by mopeds. And he used to sort of buzz about on this little moped, but there weren't really roads. They were just sort of dirt tracks and sort of bits of deserts and outback. And one day somebody whacked him and off he went, but it was a really bad impact, so much so that it completely shattered his arm, and he was very heavily disabled with his right arm. That didn't stop him. Through a miracle, somebody found him because it was one of those remote places where he could have quite easily not have made it through the night and been left there. But he was picked up by a stray man who just happened to find himself off of path in this particular instance. Picked him up, took him to hospital, he survived. He then went through cancer. He was not able to bring children into the world through natural means and had to have some assistance. But this is a man who radiated this golden glow of just this sheer magic of his love and his passion for his family. And when he talked about his wife and he talked about his kids, he could have lit up the universe. It was just an amazing thing to watch. And that's what kept him going. Nothing else actually mattered to him. Everything else was the small stuff. If he said, if I'd have got sacked, I didn't care. You know, it really didn't matter. If somebody gave me a parking ticket, it didn't care. And actually, most of the things that are in our lives are parking tickets and people name calling and things like that. And in the scheme of being here physically or not, you know what? There ain't many things that are that big a deal. But what an incredible story. And it just helps us to keep our focus. And then I've been going through some personal stuff recently, which has been quite interesting. And, you know, my dad's a really big, powerful guy, right? A big shadow, you know, a man of, you know, born just after the war there, having the values and things of those times and the attitude to life. Somebody that had his own struggles that he had to go through. And, you know, sometimes I was pretty scared of him, I have to say. 6'3" nearly, and a big fella with it too. And he cast a big shadow. And as a little boy growing up, you thought, wow, well, I can't tackle that, so best go with it. And sometimes, you know what, I learned that I realised, and I certainly do so now looking back, that I did things to make him happy when I wasn't being truly who I was. In other words, at the cost to myself. And I never thought that he had that much interest in me or the things that I did. And that caused me a lot of upset over the years. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you here because I need to put my hands up. That was my judgment of my dad. That's what I chose to see my dad as. I didn't look beyond that veil to allow myself to see the man that was expressing himself. So over the few years, I found myself having difficult relationships with him, indeed even as an adult as well. And this is quite an interesting thing, until very recently when something on a health matter came up for me. And my mum had taken me to a doctor's when I was about 10 years old. And it was quite interesting, really, because my dad kind of doesn't register stuff like that. It's like, whoosh, or so I thought, because it was a judgment. And my mum was recounting this visit to the hospital with me. And she spoke for about 2 minutes, and my dad chipped in, and he remembered the doctor, the dates, the times, and what they said. And I remember feeling emotional, and I can feel it coming back now. I just remember thinking to myself, I never knew that you cared. I never truly felt you had that much interest in me, that you really cared. Now, that isn't to be horrible to him, but, you know, he did the best that he can, expressing it the best way he could, relative to the experiences of his life. And sometimes we do, when we get those experiences that come to us, we judge people, we form opinions, and we close our minds. And if I did that to a significant degree, and I hadn't woken up as I have done with these thoughts that I'm sharing with you, I probably wouldn't be in a relationship with him now. And I would just like you to open your minds to extend that around how many situations that impacts for you in your lives. So don't have that judgment. It's really important. It will help you on your way. If you don't, it will make you sick. And here's a lovely little quote from Steve Jobs. He always said, it's really important to eat good foods. It's one of the best doctors, because if you eat foods as your medicine, you don't have to eat medicine as your foods. And what I'm suggesting in this instance is that the ill feeling or anything that you carry around that isn't of goodwill or of the light for others will only make you sick. You will impact others. As I say, what affects you infects everybody else, but it will literally make you sick in some way and on some level. And when they talk about healing the body, this is what we can do by changing our choices, behaviours and actions that we make and take in each moment. It is just so important. So please understand that. And to keep positive and to keep open with everything is equally important. And to believe in yourself. Let me share why. Les Brown, the great motivational speaker, he had this lovely story where when he started out in life, he was really struggling. And he went along to watch the speakers. He started to get involved with them, a bit like when some of us start our spiritual journeys, whether you're a healer or a medium or whatever. And he went to see this speaker, and the guy sitting next to him struck up this conversation. And as the guy finished, he said, "What did you think to the fellow?" He said, "I thought he was rubbish. Absolutely sucked. Wow, awful." And he went, "It's my brother-in-law." So at that point, you know, he wanted to slide under the table like that. And he said, "But do you know what? It's all cool, don't worry." He said, because he really was rubbish. But you know what? He's doing his best, and he is up there doing it when all's said and done, and you're down here. So interestingly, this speaker came down, and he came and spoke to this guy, his brother-in-law, and he said, "Hey, this fella here sitting on my right said you were rubbish and you really sucked." And he just looked at him and he said, "Maybe I did. But the reason that I'm up here and that you're down there is I represent the things that you have already rejected for yourself." How powerful is that? So in other words, you hold yourself back. You keep yourself prisoner. I represent the things that you've already rejected for yourself. So you've got to keep going. Nobody can tell you what's right or wrong for you, because you know what? He got better and better and better. And this speaker actually went on to become somebody quite famous. So believe in yourself, keep going. There's always a way. You don't necessarily know what it is, and you don't yet know what you don't yet know. So I'm going to leave you with those words, and I hope they resonate with you. As I say, thank you very much. Take the best care always.
Well done. Do you know something, friends? That's one of the best addresses I've heard for a long time. It really was. It really is good. And it's a couple of things resonated with me. As most of you know here, I'm on a journey to lose weight. There's my daughter and my future grandchild, baby Davis. And I started off my diet at 137 kilos. And I'm quite chuffed. I reached 111 point something on last Monday. So no, fine. And I'm really chuffed with that. So when I last saw the medical profession, I told them, I was about 112 then, 113. And they went, "What's your target?" I said, "My goal, it's not a target, it's my goal is to get to 16 stone. And then I'll reevaluate." And they went, "Oh no, we want you to be 13 stone. And I said, I haven't been 13 stone since I met my Jackie. I said, and if I go like that, she'll think she's married a toy boy. And all jokes aside, I have accepted that challenge, but I'm still sticking at the 16, then I'll reevaluate. But also about judging. I've always lived by that motto, do not judge unless you be judged. Or the Native American words where, do not judge your brother until you walk in their shoes. And it's very true, we're very good, especially as spiritualists sometimes, to judge others. There was a medium on here one morning who we actually thought, the whole congregation, rubbish. It was awful. I've had nicer experiences pulling teeth out. I'm serious. I really am serious. And we felt sorry for the person. And he left this church very despondent, very heartbroken, because he realised he's probably lost his gift. And this lady came out afterwards. I came into church to see someone sitting there. I let her sit there and she said, where's the medium? I'd like to speak to him. I said, okay, he's gone, I'm afraid. She said, well, he's just saved my life. I was going home to kill myself. His simple words this morning changed my life and turned me around. And we were all flabbergasted by that, because there we were sitting, the committee and other members of the congregation, and congregation coming out saying, what a load of rubbish that was. He saved somebody's life. Now, how important is that? So I try not to judge others nowadays. I can't say I've been perfect at it. I have my off days. Somebody said to me the other day, you have to remember you're a minister. Yeah, but I have an off day. I have an off day. We are human as well as trying to be divine, but we are human. And life has been very challenging for all of us. You know, I include me in that. And I know Jackie has said the same. And it's been difficult, us not being able to see our Rachel for a few weeks, because Sean had a text last week from the NHS app to say he's been in contact with somebody who's got COVID. So they literally got up and walked out and waved to us as a window. But there's people far worse off than that. There truly is. Because people are losing people to the spirit. And there's people coming across that have got dementia and they don't even know what's going on with this COVID. And in their own innocence, they're fine. So we just have to not judge others, and especially not judge situations. Because we're all inclined at the moment, lots of people are inclined at the moment to judge, should you have this vaccine, shouldn't you have this vaccine, should you do this, should you do that. Someone's even said to me last week, you know, this vaccine, it's not a vaccine, it's nanobots in the vaccine, and it's a tracking device, so the government can keep an eye on you. And I just thought to it, oh, never thought of that one. But I am not going to challenge anyone on that anymore, because it's their life and that's it. We're now coming to the pastor's service where Iain will demonstrate his gifts to the Spirit. And around our walls here, we have that word there, love. And it's through his mediumship and his ability, as all mediums, develop their mediumship to serve, but also to use it for love. So I now ask you and invite you to welcome Iain. For you in the virtual world, there's sometimes a 10 or 15 second delay. If it's 15 minutes, I'm worried. So perhaps you ought to judge me. But seriously, just bear with it. And if you're saying yes to something on the virtual world, try and explain what you're saying yes to. And I know Iain will do his utmost to help you through it and explain his gifts to the media. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, Mr. Iain Mason.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, hey, everyone, I'm back again. Look at that. Just like a bad penny.
A good penny.
A good penny, yeah. Good penny, absolutely. So here we all are. Yeah, you know what? I work in love, it's as Ray says, for me. I just open myself up and allow. And I just, allow, what seems to want to find its way through to wherever it needs to do. And you know what? It always does. So I hope that's not a commentator's curse, by the way. But he's about to miss this shot. You know what happens next, right? But no, in all seriousness, so do listen in. As you can appreciate, just bear with me, because indeed my own delay might be I need to work with the monitor and with you all here as well as we go. But I give what I get. It's as simple as that, and we figure it out. So are you all going to be kind and gentle with me? Are you sure? Okay, that's nice. Thank you.
One at the back said no.
That's actually my lovely friend Maria Martin from down Seaford Way. She's saying lovely to share this time with you all. So that's really, really nice. Yeah, and do that, and wish for everybody more than what you wish for yourself, because that's our greatest gift that we can do, is to give and share our love. All right. So we're going to see where we go. All right. Now I have this really funny headache this morning, and it's quite a thumper. And I know I've got this fella talking to me at the moment, but I know he's an enabler. Now, what I want to say to you is, those who don't know what an enabler is, it's someone that comes through to help somebody else through. And he's just talking to me here about this lady who would have been quite confused. Now, what I do know is I can hear the name Ivy that would link around this lovely lady too. And I also know that from what he tells me, that this lady would have been around 86 or just maybe either side of that when she passes. I know that she would have had a few issues with knowing where she was and who she was. But I want to say to you that she just feels, as she's starting to come through for me here now, that she had quite a good life. Those of you that are young enough to remember the actress Irene Handel, she's a little bit like that for me. Little short lady, very, very simple speaking, very, very plain, didn't like a lot of confrontation or anything like that. And she just talks to me here about wanting to give upliftment in the family, because she's talking about, she's talking to me, oh, hang on a moment. What are you doing with that? Okay, she's just moving some things around for me. Okay, she's talking about relationships here where it's been a bit of a struggle, and quite frankly, this almost could have gone one or two ways. You'll understand what that is, right? And she's just saying here, but you have to move the bits about to make the bits fit, or to find your way. And I know that it's been very difficult, and I know there's been very challenging times, and I know that there's been either a rift or a separation that work has caused here in the family, bringing its own stresses. So would somebody please understand this? And I also need to say that I need to mention the name Colin, who would be up there with my lovely lady. So we've got what we've got here. We've got the lovely Ruth Townsend saying, Ivy was my nan, past 83. Okay, Ruth. And Ruth, do you understand the rest of that message, my darling? Just let me know if you do. And we're just working with the delay here. I don't know if anybody in the church here can resonate with that or can understand that. That's your cue to speak up, by the way, because we'll always find you. It's all gone quiet. Okay, Ruth. So if I may work with you, if that's all right. So, my darling, would you? Oh no, it's Lenka. There's a link to the Ivy. Yes, lots of people left me in the situations. Okay. All right, so it's our lovely Linka that we know here from the church also coming up. Ruth's not sure of Colin. Okay, don't get so hung up on Colin, Ruth, but the name Colin just came through. That might drop in for you as well. Linka's saying that her grandmother died at the age of 84. I'd like to work with Ruth, so I'm going to ask the lovely RJ to pop a message back on for me, if you'd be so kind. The first message that came through. So Ivy, Ruth was your nan. Would you understand why she talks about the relationships around you? You needed to be looked at from a different perspective, and why things can't carry on as they are, because with the fractions that have been caused by these changes to do with work and the impact of how it all falls on each other to carry what the other one feels as all the responsibilities. If that doesn't change, it could well cause difficulties that don't need to happen. I'm just going to grab a drink.
Keep it up there.
Yeah, thanks. Because she just makes me feel that you need to look at life just that little bit differently, because like I was saying in the address, it's important that we don't sweat the small stuff. It's important that we don't sweat the small stuff. I know that things at home also need to be moved around. That's what I want to say. And when I say things needing to be moved around, it's about doing things in a different order. So Ruth's saying, yes, she understands that. That's fantastic. Thank you, Ruth. And look, we're not here to talk about all your personal business in public, and I do choose my words carefully as I get them. But it's really important that you understand that when we need to get into a new routine, this is what she's saying to me here, that we just need to put the pieces together differently so things make a bit more sense to us. And I know that as she says that, that will resonate for you, because she just talks about here how you know it's not a lost hope, but she understands that you feel that weight on your heart, you see, and she doesn't want that for you. And as much as I always say you get, if you like, a harder Nan and a softer Nan, she's a bit of a hybrid between the two. But when I talk about the harder Nan, Ruth, this is about the strength of her personality that comes to support, because she is a bit like a dog with a bone that she doesn't want to let go, because she has that much love that she wants to pass on for you. All right. Now, she also is talking to me about you getting something to do with your shoulder and neck sorted out as well, because she's just saying to me here, you either keep getting the headaches yourself, or you've got this problem where you've jarred yourself, and she wants you to get that sorted out. But I'm going to leave you Nan's love with you, and wish you all my very best, my darling. So you take care. Thank you for that. Okay. Yeah, so you understand. Yeah, she's just saying she's a strong lady. That's fantastic. Oh, yeah. No, she's a really lovely energy, Ruth. So you won't do wrong with her, I can tell you that. Okay, so let me just see where we go now. All I can see is ice creams coming past here on one of those little bicycles that you see abroad. Okay, this is quite interesting. And I can just hear somebody singing that cornetto. Okay, so you understand about the headaches, Ruth, as well. Okay, well, I'm sorry that you do. We'll all send you some healing throughout the show too. Okay, so what have I got here? Okay. Now I've got Grandad that just joins with me here, that wants to link with his granddaughter, and he just talks about those classical sort of grandparental visits and the walks along the seaside there, and how we all used to kind of walk together. And there would have been this thing here where we do this 1, 2, 3, you know, where they're holding each other. You know, you've got, say, Nan holding one arm, Grandad holding the other, and kind of lifting you up and putting you down. Oh, and now Ruth's saying, oh, I was an ice cream lady. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, thank you for that, Ruth. But what I want to say is I've got Grandad here. Maybe not the tune. No, okay. I'm not going to sing it, Ruth, either. But I just need to say, on this next communicator, I have this lovely Grandad. He comes forward, and he just talks about these Nan and Grandad and these sort of lovely times with the grandkids here as he's just walking along the seaside for me. And as he walks, oh my gosh, as he walks along here, he talks about this being one of the last happiest memories that he had before he passes. And he just tells me that he passes quite quickly of what he's telling me was a stroke. But he just tells me that he got up one morning, something went bang, and before you know it, he just kind of hit the floor. This is what he's saying to me. Now, I don't mean to cause any distress with this, but he just lets me know that he goes over quite quickly. And as he does that, I know that there was this sort of moment in his life where he must have liked jigsaws, or if I'm misunderstanding that, he must have liked putting his puzzles together so that he understood things or wanted things to make more sense for him. But it was like he was gradually getting life. That's what he's saying. I know he would have been a smoker in his time as well, and he would have had to have stopped smoking, you understand. Now, he's just talking to me here. There will be a birthday in June that's significant that links to a lady. This is what he tells me. And I want to be around about the 23rd of June with this. He also says to me here that he didn't make Christmas, so he would have passed before the Christmas time. So does anybody either in the church or in our virtual world please understand that? Oh, it's all gone quiet again.
Kelly at the back then.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to start at the back, Felicity, so I'll come back with you. We do have the delay on the screen, so I'll come back to you all virtually in a moment. Kelly, my darling. Yeah, what do you understand with that? Okay. Do you understand the quick passing, my darling? Yes. Okay. And do you understand the memory links of the childhood visits? Yes. Okay, that's wonderful. And Felicity? Okay, all right, well, thank you for speaking up, and thank you for being honest there. And I'm just going to see if anybody comes up on my little screen here. But I feel quite good with you, Kelly, if that's all right. So may I work with you anyway, regardless, and if anybody comes up on the screen, I'll come back to them. That's all right, my darling. And I do obviously know you, Kelly. We share the same surname, but we're not related that way. But a good choice of surname, I have to say. Good on you, Stephen. Okay. So would you understand that he did have this sort of big love for the family, but he had to sort of go about life in his own way and sort of put things together in the way that he understood it? Yes. Okay, because things weren't normal for him. He just didn't see the world as everybody else did. Okay. Yeah. So this jigsaw thing is very symbolic, but it does feel for me that when he was on his own, he did sort of contemplate things quite a lot. He was quite a big reflector, and it would be that almost the next time that you would have seen him, he would have come out with all of these sort of random things that were like almost relating to the conversation or a visit before that.
Yeah, that's so true.
That he kind of figured out because he'd sort of processed it in the time between point A and point B.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, because he's just coming forward and he's just saying, you know what, I did get it, and
A lot didn't, but I did.
yeah, okay. And would you also understand why he talks about the difficulties with a brother that would connect as well?
Yes.
Because he just says that we've made our peace. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, because he just said, yeah, neither of us had our finest hour. That's the feeling that he puts through me. But he says, we've made our peace now. We've made our peace now. And he just sort of talks about that for you at the moment. It's very much a time, I mean, I know we've all had to sort of sit back and relax, right? But it's very much a time for you to sit back and relax, because he's saying to me that I know that it's been difficult and we've all been a bit anxious on occasions, even the most spiritual amongst us. We all have those sort of uncertainties and we feel those experiences. But he's just saying to me here that he wants you to relax. And my darling, without giving too much away, he just says to me here that you felt a little bit out of sorts with yourself. And he's telling me that's to do with medication that you're taking. And he's talking to me here about either a change in medication. So this is either a different medicine or a different amount of medicine. So in either the pills that you're taking or the weight of them, that type of a thing. And he says it's made you feel not quite yourself. Would you understand that? Okay, all right. So let me just see where he's going with this. It's the way that he shows me with the pills. Now I know a little bit about you, but I don't know obviously what goes on in your daily lives. But he's just talking to me here about you very much having to change things.
It goes back to your food being the medicine, because it's on that score.
Right. Okay. As long as you understand.
Yeah.
Okay, but this just makes me feel the way that he does it, that it will better balance you. And he says to me here, almost, bless you, my darling, that you've been getting quite tired, because he just sort of says gone a bit black around the eyes. So would you understand that?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Okay, and this is just to make you...
It's getting there, but it's slow.
Yeah, no, okay, well, bless you. But he just brings in this feeling of, you know, look, don't worry. Now, I'm obviously not a medical doctor. You probably wouldn't want to be on an operating table looking up and see me smiling down at you, you know. Most people wouldn't.
Yes. Nice one.
Well, you know, they talk about manifesting, right? We need to focus that, you know. But what I just want to say is he's just very much aware of that, and he just wants you to be patient, okay? And just to be patient with yourselves. I know that you've said there that it's frustrating, but it's just to allow yourself that room and that capacity just to be you and what you're feeling, and just go with what you feel. Because he says there's something that was changed for you medically that was given to you, and you weren't sure that you wanted to take it. It's like when the doctors would have suggested it, there was something inside of you that said, I just don't think that's for me. And he says that you were right, and he's just saying, be aware of that. Would that make sense for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Do you understand where he's going with that? Okay, because if you don't feel like it's working for you, then you've got to speak up, because things get out of balance for you. Yeah, that makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's all right. That happens. I mean, you just got me blurting all this stuff out at you. So he just brings this forward, and he just says to you, look, don't worry. You just take the time to be you, and don't worry. And it's back to the address again. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's just kind of figuring it out. But what he does say is, don't be afraid to speak your mind. And when you feel things aren't for you, say so and question, what will that do for me? Because he just says to me, sometimes you just need to be a little bit stronger, bless you, when you're with the doctors, just to put your point across, to say, I know that won't work with me, or to ask the questions, how will that work with me? Okay, that's good. Good for you. Yeah, good for you. Okay, so it's just a lovely little message of upliftment there, and I'm going to leave his love with you. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're very, very welcome. Thank him. Thank him. It's a pleasure to share him with you. And that's a really important message. You know that thing about gratitude, everyone, just about the things that happen to us, even when we get a message and it helps us and it touches us or we help somebody else, just say thank you. Because what Neil Donald Walsh says, it's not there because of the grace of God go I. It's there before the grace of God go I. It's there because of the grace of God go I. It's a very different thing. So it's that moment of gratitude. Okay, so let me see where do I want to go next? Actually, I'm quite drawn to my lovely lady that's down there. She's got a blue coat on behind Shirley. Mary. Oh, blimey, I can't. Sorry, Mary. Have you? Oh, crikey, I can't see that far anyway. Oh dear, how embarrassing. You know people, right? And then you don't recognise them.
We all look different with masks.
Yeah. Lovely eyes, Mary. That's a joke. You'll all get that later. Right, come on. We've got to have some levity in all of this.
We have. Please do.
Oh dear. Mary, my darling, do you understand Mum passing of a stroke, please? Okay, would you, because as Mum comes close to me here, she just gives me this feeling of being either slightly confused or things slowing quite down for her before she passes. Okay, because she just says to me, it's like things didn't make sense, and she's just making me feel like it's a stroke. Okay, then please accept my apologies. It's just the way then that I'm interpreting what she's given to me here. She's just coming in very, very sort of like as a short, sharp message for you, because she's just saying, my darling, she just wants to send some healing. I know I can see a stick there, but she does want to send some healing to your knees at the moment. But this is not just in the physical, you understand. This is sort of spiritually too as well, because she's saying to me that you've just had your hopes dashed about plans that you were going to do that have just been stopped. Would that make sense for you? So this is to do with arrangements. This is nothing to do with the Christmas thing. This is about, she's just saying to me here, there was something set up for you, or you thought that was going to happen for you, that has either just been put on hold or paused or just said no for a moment, because she's saying you can't get to where you need to be. You understand? Okay, and she just wants you not to worry about that, because she says to me here that it's like you pinned your hopes on it, but you knew that it would be good for you. And she says, it will be, but not now. And she just makes me feel that you just need to have that bit of a breathing space to get to a better space and place to enable yourself to be, if you like, right and ready for it. And she just comes forward and just wants you not to worry. All right. Now, she's bringing forward here what looks for me like red tulips. If I'm out on their roses, that's fine, but they look like tulips to me. Would you understand that? Okay, because she really, really loves those flowers and she wants to give them to you. Now, I don't know who's the gin lover, but she keeps giving me juniper berries, excuse me, and indigestion, which is quite pleasant too. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Okay, but she just kept showing me this bunch of juniper berries, and I just thought, oh, okay, what's that? And then she gave me a lovely bout of indigestion, so that was always a gift. So thanks, Mary's mum, for that. It's always what you want on camera, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it? Okay, but she just comes in just to give you that little bit of upliftment and just say to you there not to worry. So I'm going to leave your mum's love with you and say thank you for working with me. Okay. It's really bizarre, you know, sort of actually being drawn to people in the church when you're so used to in these times working virtually. It's really, really funny. Right, okay, so let me just see what's happening here. Okay, so back in the virtual world, if you can all listen in as well for me now too. So I've got this, I'm going to call him a child. I've got this younger male that comes forward for me here. And he gives me this impression that he drowned. But to be quite honest with you, it doesn't feel like he drowned. It feels like there were complications to do with either lungs filling up or something like this, where he would have passed and had effectively like a drowning experience. This is what he makes me want to share with you. And I know that obviously this would have been a very distressing time for Mum and Dad. But he just wants to come forward here and just let everybody know that he's okay. He said that he was almost all right 1 minute. He's gone into hospital. wasn't quite with it, wasn't quite right, and then things just took a really bit of a weird turn for him. But he's just aware of people that are particularly still upset about not getting to the bottom of this, and not and sort of acknowledging why he passed and the ins and outs of it. And he's just saying, do you know what, it really doesn't matter, it's not important. So would somebody out in the virtual world please understand that for me, because I don't feel that I'm with anybody in the church. Okay, so I'll just give you a few seconds just to come back there. And I just need to thank you, Sally, and I just need to say Stephen. I'm getting the name Stephen here that would link around this too. Hi, Bethany. So would somebody understand my little lad as he comes forward? Vivian McIntosh is saying, I know a little boy who drowned in quicksand. Okay. Oh, golly. Vivian, do you understand the rest of the message? Because I got this impression of him also being in hospital. So this little lad would have had to have gone into hospital to do with this drowning. This doesn't feel like it's not a fit for me, but I don't want to make it fit either. But does anybody else please understand this little lad that just comes forward here and just gives me this feeling of this drowning? And please, Vivian, don't take that I'm going to work with you as second best. I don't mean it that way. Okay. But he just makes me aware that there is this sort of sadness with it. We'll just give it a few more seconds there. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Vivian, may I work with you then for a moment? Nobody else is coming up for me. But my lovely little lad here, as he comes forward, do you understand the name Stephen that would link in and around this as well for me here? And this poor little fella, as he comes forward here, he just felt that it was a long time ago. Okay, my darling. I just want to say to you here that he would be like friends of the family. That's how he's bringing himself in, because he doesn't feel like blood family, if you see what I mean, but he does feel quite close. And I know that as he comes forward here, he has this sort of thing about saying, look, it wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. And this was something that was really out of the blue. You can understand it, Stephen, thank you. And he's just saying to me here that nobody expected this to be quicksand. Okay, and it was almost like a freak of nature type of thing, and a freak of how can I put it, circumstance that would have caused his passing, because you know what, it was just this unexpected thing. But he does talk about us friends of the family. Okay, that's great, as long as you understand it. But he does show me being in hospital. Now, I don't know whether you would know if they did a post-mortem on him or not, but he's just showing me here that he couldn't have done, nothing else could have been done for him, and he doesn't want that worry. But he just talks about that drowning sensation. But he says, I didn't suffer. He says it just sort of went a bit dark, and then here I am. And he's just coming back here. He absolutely loves balls. Okay, he's brought a beach ball with him as well. Yes, children playing where they shouldn't. Okay, all right. And he's just bringing this ball, but just symbolically, just to say like he's back as himself and that as well. Now, as he comes forward here, and he just wants that general sort of uplifting times at the moment. Vivian, would you understand Mum passed for you, please, as well? Because he just makes me aware that he brings forward this lady for you, that there's still this deep, I'm going to say missing, of course you'd miss your mum, but this deep sort of regret also about missing mum and missing mum. Okay, because he's just saying to me here, he's aware of that, but he just brings forward, like a person would bring a small child through holding their hands, he brings this lovely lady through, and he keeps saying to me, mum, mum, mum. So can you let me know if you can understand that, my darling? Because he just shows me this lovely lady who just comes forward with an awful lot of love for you. You understand. Thank you, my love. And I am so sorry that your mum's passed. But mum comes forward and she comes forward in a really loving way. And she just makes me want to drop my arms and just sort of look at you and go, hello, love. Hello, love. Because she says that she's been on your mind a lot, particularly over the last couple of weeks. She says it's been a bit of a tricky situation for you to decide what you wanted to do and make your mind up about the things that are going on around you that are quite personal, that link to matters of the heart. Okay, my darling, I'm so sorry. I just want to say to you that as she comes forward here, she says, you don't need to get yourself into a pickle about this last couple of weeks. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to miss me, but I am still here with you. And she says you feel her playing with either I don't have any hair clearly, but her fond memories. But you're not supposed to laugh at that. That's unkind. But she's just playing with like the hair or the back of my neck here that she just wants to stroke or sort of wrap her finger around it, as if to make a curl for you, if you understand that. She just that gives you that as her way of letting you know that she's still around you. But she says, excuse me, she says, don't worry about everything that's been going on. It's okay. Just allow yourself to be yourself and just don't try and figure it all out. And she's just really tickled pink that this little lad has brought her through because she really loves the little kids. You understand that? And she just talks very fondly. She talks about the 3 children, but I feel it must link to you this. So you either have to have 3 yourself or you need to be one of 3 because she shows me 3. But she also talks to me about another, but I feel that they've gone away. And Vivian, what you're saying here, my darling, yes, Iain, decisions, it's her then tickling my head, laugh out loud. Yes, it is, because that's what she says. So just understand that, you don't need to go through these journeys alone. It really, really is okay for you to do what you need to do and allow yourself to feel what you need to feel and to process it. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's that kind of feeling that she gives me. And, don't feel any shame with that. Just have the courage just to keep going and allowing yourself to do whatever you need to do. But she's with you. And she just really gives me this sense, and it's an odd thing that would be out of character, but she says, oh, you've got the 3 children, thank you, yeah, and I get that she loves children. She just says to you here, whatever you decide to do, you rock it all the way, girl. Now, she wouldn't have said that when she was here, I know that, but she just puts that energy for me to share with you, to say that's the strength that you need for you at the moment, and just to keep on going with you, keep on going. So I'm going to leave your mum's love with you and the memories of this lovely little boy here that joined with us and say thank you very much for taking that message. Okay, where are we going here? Okay, what are you up to? That's quite interesting. Okay. Would somebody please understand, and I feel like I'm out in the virtual world again, would somebody please understand a family member that would have gone over to Australia and would have, you're very welcome, Vivian, you're very welcome, would have gone over to Australia, and I'm just seeing this lady go over to Australia to sort of start a new life, but it's in a bizarre set of circumstances. I don't know why, but I've just got this sense of feeling as she comes into my mind here that she would have gone out there for a break from things, but actually to set up a new life. And she just says to me here that she passes of cancer. Now she takes me up to here in my chest, so whether that is a chest cancer or a breast cancer, I don't know, because she's just standing in front of my eyes here, tapping my chest. This is what she's doing. I know that it would have been a shock passing because people wouldn't have known what she was going through, because she just makes me aware that the news wouldn't have got shared back to those that were here. And she just says to me here, 46, so I know that the number 46 is really important. She's not saying to me at the moment whether that's her age or not, but I do feel of a lady that I was cut forward in my prime, if you know what I mean. And the way that I get this sometimes is, those of you that are young enough, do you ever remember Charlie's Angels, but like the first lot, Farrah Fawcett? Yeah, when I get that Farrah Fawcett coming bouncing in with the blonde hair and that lovely little curl and the wave in it, not that I noticed her, right? You get that? You're not meant to laugh. But I just get this feeling of this lady that was cut off in her prime. And she's just coming forward here just to make herself and her presence known. A really, really bubbly lady, quite vivacious. There must be a sister or a sister type link that links for her here as well. And this is back in the UK. So would anybody please understand that? She really is bubbly, very, very effervescent. But I know that you wouldn't have recognised her at the end of her life, but very much wanted to keep her secrets a secret. Okay. So I'll just give you a few moments just to see who comes up. Does that resonate with anybody in the church as well? I don't want to ignore you guys. No, okay. All right, so we'll see who comes up. I'll carry on and see what comes. So as she comes forward here, she's just calling out the name Mark. And Mark would still be here. And Mark feels like there would be a brother link on this sort of a vibration that she gives me here. I know that Mark now will be having issues around him to do with the confusion about some issues to do with his own health as well. I know that Mum and Dad will be around, and I know that he himself will not share an awful lot of things that go on with him. So does anybody please understand that? Do speak up. Okay, what are you doing, my darling? And I want to say she's given me the name that sounds like Hayley for me. Okay, Hayley. And I need to acknowledge there will be a September anniversary and birthday towards the end of September, and I feel like I want to go around the 26th with this. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to give that just a few seconds here to come up. Okay, so where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Just while I'm waiting on the screen, Felicity, I've just asked her where she wants to go, and she's pulling me over to you. Would you understand any of this, my darling?
I have a sister-in-law that did go to Australia.
Yeah.
So I don't really know, to my knowledge, she's still with us. I'm not sure about any of the rest of it.
Okay. Are you aware of a lady that would have passed from a cancer condition that would have been cut off in her prime? Okay. All right, because she's just taken me straight over to you. Okay, just bear with me. Joe Ward's come up on our screen. I know Mark with health challenge, good friend, surname Hayley. Okay, Joe, we're going to hold your message on the screen, my darling, because this always figures it out. But I'm going to have to come back to you because I need to work with the lovely Felicity first. Okay, because I just feel when I asked her where she wanted to go, and it didn't feel like a double link, so bear with me, everyone. Right, so you understand the sister in Australia? Sister-in-law, okay, that's fine for me. That came just forward on that sister vibration that I needed to go on. But would you understand that she would have gone over there to find a new life as well? I don't want to say to escape. It's more just to choose a better life for myself. So it's not like I'm running away from anything. I'm just choosing to do things that are better for me. Okay, all right. She's just making me aware here, and I don't want to cause you any distress with this because you did mention, to be fair to you, that you weren't aware of anybody passing. So please don't take it that way. But I have got this lady here that has this energy that passes of the cancer that would have to link also with this as well. And you're saying you know that as mum, but not the chest. Okay. Okay. Would you understand that your mum would have passed? If I say to you alone, I'm not quite unsure why I'm being given this way from mum, because I've got mum speaking to me now. But she just makes me feel like I was quite alone. Would that make sense? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So let me just figure this out. Okay. Now, would you understand that your relationship with your mum was, I'm going to say different, because I don't want to be rude and make it sound like when I say strange, odd to most, but it feels that sometimes it's almost like you were really, really close, and then at other times you were really far apart. So it's like you were sisters in 1 minute, and then you were mother and daughter another, if I can put it to you that way. Okay, because your mum's just sort of saying to me here, kind of like close, not. And do you also understand what looks like it looks like a black and white sheepdog for me, but I've got a black and white dog here that she's talking about that's running around as well. You've got a black and white dog. Okay, I've just got this black and white dog. It looks quite, I don't want to say it's young as a puppy, but it's sprightly. Okay. Okay, I'll take your word for it. A Springer red Settler cross, whatever one of those is. Okay. It's black and white. That'll do. Yeah, perfect. Okay, no disrespect, but she's just bringing that forward as well. But she just makes me feel that for you, what's really important is for you to kind of keep on going at the moment. And she just says it's better for you to be up on your toes and getting out and about. And she says that actually it's quite funny. Now I know that I know you, but I don't know lots and lots about you, but I need to be honest about that. But would you also understand that you need to look after your other half at the moment, because Mum's saying that it's his time to have a little bit of TLC. Okay, we're not going to share anything, but let's just say that, you know, he's a little under the weather, bless him. And she said, isn't it funny? Because she says, when you look back, how almost you got better and you were then able to look after him. And it was almost in a very short period of time. It's like you had this sort of sudden burst where you started to feel a lot better in yourself, and then you were able to look after him. Whereas literally, you know, say 3 days before, it's a very short period of time, you wouldn't have been so able to do so. Would that, yeah. Oh, bless him. Okay. And she says she's just very much aware of that, and she just really wants us to come down to say that she is really so proud of you. She's really pleased to see you up on your toes, as she puts it, and moving around more freely. And it's just so nice that to see you caring in the way that you do about him. Would you understand that Mum was a bit secretive about Christmas? And what I mean by that is, would have either really loved it but not said it, or really loved it but liked it less. I know I've just contradicted myself there, but there's something funny about Mum liking Christmas. Okay. Yeah, I understand that. Okay. 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 All right, but she just gives me that sort of dilemma about Christmas, if you like, for want of a choice of words. Yeah, okay. But I also get that with you as well, that sometimes you just need to kind of just relax a little bit and let go and just kick back a little bit more than you do. And particularly at Christmas time. She's just aware that sometimes you still hold yourself just a little bit rigid with it, bless you. But she says that's okay. But she just wants you to enjoy your Christmas. And I'm going to leave a love with you. And she does say Happy Christmas. So let me just have a quick sip of this. Okay, so Joe, my darling, are you still there? That's a cracking picture. We're now back on the in the virtual world. Joe, just let me know, Joe, if you are. Joe said, I know Mark with health challenge, good friend, surname Haley. Okay. All right, so Joe, just let me know that you're there. Okay, let me just see what's going on here as we come back into this. Oh, this is you're there. Fantastic. Love the smiley face. So, Joe, with Mark for you at the moment, would you understand that he does, I'm going to use the words now, self-isolate, but would you understand that he's a little bit of a caveman, bless him? Some of us fellas, we can be a bit caveman when it comes to our health. And he's just very much that he won't talk about it. And he's a bit of a so-and-so for pushing himself too much. Would that make sense for you? Because I just get this sense for him. It's like pulling hen's teeth, trying to get him to sort out what he needs to sort out. And hello to you as well, Joe. And he's I just want to say to you that whoever this lovely lady is that's communicating with me for him is just coming. Oh, okay, cousin. I've got a cousin that passes for him. Okay, yeah, so you understand about the health, and do please just let me know if you can. If you're saying yes to health, just let me know yes, health, because it just helps me understand that you can take what I'm passing on to you. And I just want to say to you, would you understand that he really needs to, in the nicest possible way, go and get himself checked out. Now, again, I'm not a doctor, like I said to Felicity and others earlier on, and Kelly, but what I want to say to you is it's really essential that what he must do is put his mind at rest. So it's not that there's any worry there, and like I say, I'm not offering any medical advice, but if you think that there's something wrong, do please go and get it checked out, because this isn't just something that he's taking lightly. There's something that caused him just to have a little bit of a wobble there, and it's important that, for if you like his mental health, that he goes and gets it checked out. This is what my lovely lady is saying. So it's a short, sharp message for him, but I know that you will still be, yes to caveman, yes to isolate. Okay, perfect. But I do feel that he will listen to you okay? And I just get the feeling that you're probably the best placed person, from what my lovely lady is saying, just to kind of give him that little bit of a nudge, give him that little bit of upliftment and that incentive just to carry on and go and basically carry on, because he can get everything sorted out for himself. So if that makes sense for you, my darling, I will let you be a medium's medium, but do make sure that you pick the moment when the time is right. Okay, don't just go blurting it out, but you'll kind of figure it. And I get the feeling that he does reach out for you from time to time as well. Okay, so do expect a call, and I feel that will be your opportunity to help him. What you're saying here, my darling, yes, he has been talking about he should go to health. I will encourage. Thank you so much. Thank you for speaking up. Okay, am I right carrying on, Ray?
Yeah, one more.
One more.
2 more.
Okay, right. Okay, let me see where I go. I'm drawn into the church for some reason. Okay, so virtual world, also listen in, put your listening ears on. My lovely lady there in the mask, can I work with you in the, do you know, I'm colourblind, so I don't know what you're wearing, but Charlie, hello Charlie. Hiya, how you doing? You're right. Okay. Charlie, would you understand, this is a really fun thing, would you understand that your dad would have had a funny relationship with his father? Oh, okay. All right, because I've just got this, it just came through as like dad having a funny relationship with his father. Now, all I've got is granddad here coming forward. He's given me this horrible feeling in my stomach, and I feel like I'm about to lose my breakfast. I know that's not a very nice way to describe it, but he's given me this really yucky feeling in my stomach. Would that make sense for you? Yeah. Okay, and I really, really don't feel good at all. But if you understand that the humour, that side of the family, he's now laughing and taking the mickey out of me, because it's like he's showing me like a Punch and Judy show, and he's pulling out the sausages. So you'd understand that with the hospital visits and everything else, like he wouldn't have taken anything seriously. It's like even death is funny. You know, and there is a saying that says everyone wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die to get there. And his version of that is, well, how the else do you get there? I had to edit myself then very quickly. All right. But he just comes forward with this sort of this levity, but he just kept saying to me, funny relationship with dad, funny relationship with dad. Now he comes forward and looks on you. And would you understand why he would say that life has just dropped into place for you in the last 6 months? He just says it's like everything has made sense. And he says in 6 months prior to that, you were thinking, oh my gosh. And I'm not trying to paint a bleak picture for you, and I'm not trying to take you back to that time, but actually you've literally almost flipped, and you've got the other end of the other side of the coin. And he's really, really happy about that. But he says it's allowed you to settle. And he says you're seeing a little better clarity with the friends that were around with you as well, because he's just telling me, well, she's binned off a couple of them. Yeah? Okay. And he also talks about how relationships make more sense to you now as well. Okay. Because he says you've seen the light with it. Would you understand that? Okay. And he says that it's really helped you put down your boundaries as to what you won't let yourself be rather than what you will let yourself be, which is, in other words, the way that I'm interpreting it, you being you, and standing very strong with that, and not letting yourself be taken a way that you don't want to go. Now, I don't know where you have influence over a younger one, but the way that he just shows me this younger one here, so I don't know whether this is a kiddie that's with you, my darling, or whether there's a sister with a child that links to you, but he keeps showing me this little kiddie where you'll be influenced in either observing some help that's needed for this child, or being influential in that way, but speaking up about it because it needs to get sorted. Would you understand that? Okay, all right. That's not quite where I wanted to go with that. So let me just see where we're going. Okay. Who's the contemporary for you that's got the children? Okay. Would you understand then that wherever this if the sister links with your partner, do you understand a little girl that would either need a little bit of help or somebody to sort of champion her cause for at the moment, like either to speak up? Okay, all right. Well, I'm just going to say to you then, just be aware of that. But I know that you'll be quite a good advocate for that, because what your granddad's saying to me here is you see in others what they need for themselves when they don't. And what's come to you in the last 6 months is you realise what needs to be done, and then you go about getting it done. But it's now you've realised that you just don't waste any time when you do this. Okay, all right. And he's just saying, good on you, good on you. He's just saying, how's your knee, by the way? Better? Okay, because he just says, oh, and he's been quite fun. He's been quite funny here, and he's sort of saying, got an ouchie, love? Have you got an ouchie? Okay, and he just wants to rub your knee. I can't obviously do that because I'll get in trouble by many, many people. Ray, ladies and gentlemen, is nodding at home, not to mention her lovely partner. But there it is. But this is just his humour as he comes in, okay? So I'm just going to leave his love with you and say thank you all in the church for working with me. Thank you all out there in virtual land for working with me too. And I'm going to hand you back over to Ray. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Ian. God bless you. Well done. Thank you. Do you need some more water?
No,
sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ian. It's been a wonderful, and thank you from the virtual world for being here, and I thank you all from the congregation being here. Our next service here at Wimbledon will be the Friendship Club on Wednesday, which is via Zoom. Anyone interested, please contact the Zoom people, which is my Jackie and Julie Caswell, if anyone outside of that wants to do it. I believe they're doing flowers this week with both Julie, Rose and my Jackie, I believe, is being involved. Next Sunday's medium is Rose Anderson, who'll be here, and we've got other things happening over the next couple of weeks, but I'm going to let Jackie announce all that on Wednesday, and I'll do that same on Sunday, or Jackie, whoever's chairing. We're going to try and stay as open as much as we can between now and Christmas, because we know so many people need the church at the moment, or feel they need the church. But the biggest concern Jackie and I have got at the moment, there's the possible lockdown that may happen again next week. We won't know until, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, but we've been warned that there may be a tier 3 lockdown in this area, but we're not 100% sure, to be honest. But we'll know more by Wednesday, Thursday. Ashley's also told us to be prepared. So we're all mediums here, most of us, so none of us know, so we can't. But you know, it's one of those things. Good morning, Kim. It's lovely seeing you. So we just wait and see for the announcements next week. We will keep everybody posted. Normally, if we have to close down, Boris gives a few more extra days, but we'll just take each day as it comes with the opening of the church. But whatever happens, one thing that's definitely happening, Christmas Day, Jackie and I will be holding a small service from home. Anyone wants to join in through Skype, whatever we're doing it with Richard, and only be a short hour, but it'll be there and hopefully give some messages of affirmation and positiveness out, and a couple of readings. And I'm hopeful one day there may be, Ashley's going to come here and possibly do a sort of carolish type service without us singing, playing carols, but I can't promise that's going to happen with Ashley's work at the moment. But we'll try and do something with carols on one of the Wednesdays or something, just to play a few and have a few readings. People like Shirley come up, and Phil, and Jim's here. I don't think Jim would be here, but do a reading or something like that. That's right, yeah. So, he misses my birthday. That's a shame. Talk about my birthday. I said to Ethan, as I saw Noel's birthday, and I said, guess who else's birthday is in December? He said, whose? I said, Granddad's. He said, you must be really old. I said, at 62, I feel it with my bones and body. But anyway, friends, it's lovely you all joining here. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the service. I know I have. A big thank you to Ian again. Great to have... Ashley's just put up on the screen. If we go into tier 3, we should be okay to keep open. So that's good. I have to listen to him. He knows these things better than I do. As an ex-civil servant, I should know some of this stuff, but it goes beyond me. Some of it goes. It's when they talk in gibberish. I get this. I mean, that's why I like watching Sir Humphrey on telly, and Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister. I get all that, but it's all these new rules that have come out, not written by civil servants. It's certainly stream live via Psychic TV. Yeah, so we will do that somehow or other. That's about it, friends, for this morning. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a lovely morning. Can I just remind everyone to go out that side of the door, please? And also, there's the crisis box here in the front here, if anyone can donate. I'm really grateful. I think at the moment, the church has managed to raise a bed for at least 2 people, possibly 3. so that's not bad. Also, Bill Hughes is doing a thing for Croydon Night Watch. He's raised just over £1,000. Saw Bill very briefly Friday, and he's done very well with that. So anyone else can donate to that, he'd be really grateful. Bill's done a grand job. Someone said to me, he must have been in spiritualism for years. Well, he has in a way, but he's worked very recently in a way, hasn't he, as a medium and a speaker, and he's come along ever so well. My dad used to go into the shop where he worked in Croydon, in Sutton, and my dad would talk to him about spiritualism, and so did Mum, while Mum was buying jewellery, but costing Dad some money. But anyway, friends, I hope you've enjoyed this morning. I really have enjoyed it. I'm sorry sometimes if I sound harsh about distance, but it worries me. It truly worries me, and I'm doing this for yourselves. I've promised Jackie, as of a couple of weeks ago, I'm not saying another word. I really am not, but it bothers me because Jackie has an extreme weak immune system, and I do get anxious of Jackie catching it. I know there's a few people out in virtual worlds are saying, oh, you can't catch it. It's not. Someone even said there's no such thing as a pandemic in America. It's a fake. It's fake news. He's probably a Republican as well, so it explains it all. Exactly, no, exactly. But I do worry about my Jackie, or me even getting it and passing it over to Jackie. Though Jackie would probably be quite relieved to be virtually away from me for a few months. But in all jokes aside, it's a very serious thing for me. And I truly worry about your health and all your healths. You know, it's terrible for Shirley because she can't talk like she used to. You know, she's so silent. So, but in all honesty, friends, and out there in the virtual world, oh, someone said I'm not harsh. I must pay you a £5 later, Risha. But thank you all very much for supporting Wimbledon Church and all the other spiritualist churches and all the other virtual services. And also, please support Psychics TV. They're doing a grand job in keeping us all entertained. And I use that with a small e. And our friends, the Nothing Fancy Spiritualist Church, on a Sunday and during the week, they do a grand job as well. And I'm doing their Christmas Eve service, I believe. Yes, you was, wasn't you? Yeah, one way or another. One way or another, yeah. Four of you? Four of you, yeah. So it's all good. It's all very good. And I think we've got to do our best to be positive, really positive as much as we can. I've had my blue lockdown. I suffered a little bit, especially a few weeks ago. But the thing is, we've got to have positive attitude to this and be great with it. I've got friends in America, in California, whose Danny, whose sister and brother-in-law have both got serious COVID and they're in hospital and it's not looking great. And last week, the governor of California sent out to 27 million people, you're in lockdown. That wasn't to everyone, it was just those that had phones. So it is scary out there, but we've got to try and be brave inside. And I do believe, passionately believe, that our spiritualism has the answer for so many things. And what we need to do as spiritualists is be a light in this darkness and shine that light and be positive with that light. And people like Iain and so many other mediums here, Shirley, Mary, Phil, are doing that bit. It's hard at times. It really is hard. I was talking to someone the other day who's a therapist, and she's had it, what I call lockdown blues. And she's saying to me, or I was saying to her, I said, you know, but you're massaging someone's feet, reflexology, and they're going blah, 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 blah. And you're thinking, yeah, I've got my own blah, 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 blah going on. But we offer our light to the world, and we must continually do that. Use the words of the prayer of St. Francis, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. We need to share that peace and that light to betterment of this world. I now invite Iain to close our meeting with prayer.
Thank you, Ray. Hey, it's me, everyone. So if I could just trouble you to close your eyes as I invite us all to join our energy together and our love, indeed our love. Just take a breath in and out. Just let your soul settle and your feet dance to the beat of your heart. As we say, infinite creator, to our wonderful divine source, we give our love, our thanks, our deep appreciation and gratitude for you joining with us today, to allow our loved ones to come through and be reunited with us once more, so that we can feel that love from them that has never been lost and is with us in every moment. And in our moments of mental anguish, in our moments of difficulties with all that's going on in the world right now, to know that we never walk alone, but we still walk together with them. And so I ask you to send down a blessing upon each and every one of us, always guiding us to our next best space and place in every moment. So you will always find us where you know we need to be, as we ask you to please find your will behind the meaning of the purpose of whatever you have in store for us, you intended for us, you created us to fulfill, to do thy will on earth as is done in heaven. So it be, and so it is, as we leave ourselves in your tender love and care and keeping, and we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen. Ray, may I just say one quick thing? Thank you very much. Friends, I'd just like to share this with you. I had a New Year's message to a friend of mine last January, obviously, and it stuck with me quite strongly. Indeed, I've posted it on social media, but I would just like to say to you that I'd like to read the quote to you, if you would, and allow me to. And it is, may God bless you and light up every step of your way, so you never lose sight of the path you must follow in your heart. Thank you very much.
Once again, we thank our producer, Richard, at Spiritual Psychics TV. Thank you for all your hard work and effort towards this, the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church and Spiritualism Psychics world, for all the hard work and effort you put in. Friends, virtual and physical, good morning, God bless you, until we all meet again. So mote it be. Amen. Thank you, Richard.